to be operating in good faith with both teams.
This morning on Inside Kansas Politics, Kansas now swooping in, taking a big step to score the Chiefs and Royals. But not everyone is happy about the move. Reaction from east of the state line this morning. Plus,
they don't have to pay them, they don't have to treat them well.
New developments in a legal battle over a private prison in Leavenworth. What residents are saying is the future facility is up in the air. And
school nutrition is kind of a dumpster fire. We've got to get that fixed.
a native Kansan business owner, fitness trainer, and now entering the race for governor, where Marty Tooley stands on education, school lunches, and marijuana. That's still ahead. But first, Kansas lawmakers making another play to score the Chiefs and Royals, now extending their Star Bonds deal after a personal push from Chiefs President Mark Donovan. That's where we start this morning. You're taking a look inside Kansas politics. Welcome in. I'm Rebecca Chung.
And I'm Rob Hughes. We're so glad you're here. A lot to get to this morning. Now, Rebecca, now you were there at the meeting. Now, lawmakers made that final decision to extend the Star Bond package, and there are some limits with this, right?
Yeah, definitely some limits. Even though they extended the deal for 1 year, they want to get an answer from the teams by this year, so the end of this year, mainly because I'm thinking they don't want to get strung along. Something that was reiterated in that Kansas's offer has been on the table for about a year already. So it really pushed some lawmakers to extend this package, is finding out that the lieutenant governor who's in charge of these negotiations may have dropped the ball. In that request from the Chiefs president to extend this deal, he said they didn't hear from the state for 6 months. The lieutenant governor who's leading these negotiations, like I said, says it's complex, but Senate President Ty Masterson hinted that a deal with the team could have been put on the back burner as the state was trying to secure something with the Kansas City Royals.
Yeah, it just was, and I'm not saying that from inside. I've not had that conversation with Governor Kelly herself, but just from what it appears to be the case, what's happened there, I think it appears there's instructions to try to get something done with the Royals first before you deal with the Chiefs, and that's unacceptable. You need to be operating in good faith with both teams.
A Royals affiliate already bought the old Sprint campus in Overland Park, so Masterson says it's likely the state could score the Royals too. Now keep in mind, Kansas's offer would cover up to 70% of stadium cost. The state would get the money back through sales tax on things like alcohol, tickets, and merchandise. Meanwhile, Missouri's offering to cover up to 50% of the cost, with potential help coming from local governments.
And Kansas now extending this Star Bonds deal after a request from the Chiefs, like we said, is not sitting well with some lawmakers on the east side of the state line. State Senator Stephen Roberts is a Democrat from St. Louis, and he voted in favor of Missouri's offer to the teams during last month's expedited special session in Jefferson City. Now, Roberts said it feels like a slap in the face.
Oh, absolutely. And to the Missouri legislature as a whole, to me, that indicates there was no real rush to get that done. The local level has already indicated that they do not have any interest in paying special tax for this. So why should Missouri residents pay for this for a team that really, in this situation, I don't believe is looking out for us? They're looking out for what is most profitable for them.
A spokesperson for Governor Mike Kehoe says the governor believes the Kansas move is a result of Missouri lawmakers passing a competitive offer. But a spokesperson also said that local levels of government need to do their part to keep the Chiefs and Royals in Missouri, possibly hinting that the state will not offer more money.
We're here now with our political analyst Bob Beatty and legislative director for AFP Kansas, Michael Austin. And Michael, let's start with you. I know the Chiefs right now saying that they're getting closer to making a decision. So what are your thoughts on this? Because I know the last time we spoke, you kind of hinted at the fact that Kansas may be getting the runaround from this team.
Yeah, well, thank you so much, Rebecca and Rob, for having me here. But you're exactly right. I kind of feel like it's the same old song and dance. We were told in 2024 that they were going to be close to making a deal. We were told in the end of 24 that they were close. We were told in March of this year that they were close. And now we're being told again that we just need to extend more time. So, you know, economic issues aside, I think that it's pretty clear that Kansas has lost effectively all its leverage. You know, lawmakers have told us that this was going to be a relatively quick decision and that this was going to be a decision that wouldn't really waste any taxpayer money. I'm still not on the same court in believing in that, but it's clear it goes to show that the Chiefs and the Royals are really good in playing both sides against the other, and they're the only ones who are going to win after this debacle.
And Bob, what's your take on this? Because I know we talked about it a little bit. It's a lot more excitement, I assume, coming from you when it comes to having the Chiefs potentially cross over. But what do you think about, you know, this paying off in the end?
Well, you know, first of all, we have to realize this is a big deal. This is billions of dollars. And so, of course, it's going to take quite a while. And yes, they're complex negotiations. But also, of course, the Chiefs and the Royals had to wait and see what Missouri had to offer. Missouri sure took their sweet time, didn't they? They didn't even do it in the regular session. They had to have a special session Now, yes, they passed something, not as, I would argue, maybe not as good as what the Kansas is offering, but keep in mind that Kansas took one day to offer their star bonds, one day. I think that was an important sort of signal to the Chiefs and the Royals, but they did have to wait for Missouri. Who knows, maybe Missouri would have said, hey, we'll pay for the whole thing. They didn't. So now they have Missouri's offer. We heard in that piece that we just looked at the mention that these are for-profit companies. Yes, they are. This is capitalism. This is for-profit, organizations, the Chiefs and the Royals. So they're going to see which deal is best for them. One takeaway I have, and I've been observing this, is I do think that the Chiefs are very interested in a domed stadium. And a domed stadium is going to run maybe over $3 billion. And on the one hand, you're like, whoa, Kansas is on the hook for quite a bit of money. True. But with a domed stadium, you're going to get the Super Bowl. You're going to get possibly Final Fours. Taylor Swift. Apparently the economic impact that Taylor Swift brought to the Phoenix, Glendale area is like, it's hard to even calculate because she started her tour there and ended it there. And I was there during when she was there at one point, and you couldn't get an Uber, you couldn't do anything. So these are the kind of things that a dome stadium in Kansas could bring. And I think in the end, you asked me this, if the Kansas is able to land, that kind of thing, nobody will care how long it took, or if there was a squabble between Masterson and Kelly. The key is if they get it done.
Yeah, and we even read that letter from Chiefs president, and it really does seem likely that they could cross over. The Royals already buying that land, as we know, so let's see what happens.
Yeah, both offers on the table. Okay, now we got to talk about how much of the burden is going to fall on the taxpayers. Of course, Michael, now your organization, of course, thinks it could be the case possibly with the way the plan is currently structured, but some lawmakers adamant it's going to pay off like you mentioned, Bob. So what's the potential for the kind of events that could happen at the stadium? You mentioned a few there, Bob, and how could this play out in the state's favor? Michael, I'll go to you.
Sure thing. Well, first off, to better understand any type of economic argument, look at what you already have in Missouri. So Arrowhead generates about $6 to $8 million for both the state, the county, and the city. So because of their sales tax rate is arguably higher than Kansas, if they move over to the Legends area, it'd be slightly smaller, probably around 4 to 5 million. Then you have to tack on any possible spillover effects. Let's say people decide to get dinner or buy a Chiefs hoodie after the game, maybe an extra $25, $50. Then let's say you tack on that and any other off-season events like concerts or things of that sort. Now you're talking about maybe $10 million in sales tax revenue. In fact, let's give you even more information. Let's say you bring in so much economic activity, you basically double the size of the Legends area in that. So instead of it being a $200 million taxable sales, it's now $400 million. After all of that, do you know how much that stadium would arguably bring in? About $22 million in sales tax. How much do you need to pay off of a star bond that's, let's say, $2 billion at 70%? You need $50 million a year. So we can talk about pie in the sky, but simply the math just does not work out. Even if you double the impact of a Legends area and add a stadium and add Taylor Swift, you're only reaching at best half of what you need to pay off that bond in a year. So I guess the only way this could work out is after every game, every fan decides to buy a Lexus before they go home, because that's the only feasible way they could get enough money to pay for that star bond in the best time period.
If it is a Lexus IS, though, I'm just kidding. Bob, want to get your take.
Yeah, I mean, we know in the modern era right now that states, cities have to help pay for stadiums, or they will leave. Again, this is capitalism. They've left. Missouri itself has lost, I kind of lost count, I think 8, if I counted the ABA, the Spirits of St. Louis. They've lost 8 franchises. So it's not just, though, the economic impact. When you drive to St. Louis and you drive by the pretty much abandoned dome there where the St. Louis Rams used to play, there's something about losing a sports team or gaining a sports team that has a sort of domino spillover effect on economic impact. Can it, I'm not an economist, can it be figured out how much that is? But basically, for the sports analogy, is a state a major league state or is it a minor league state? Right now, Kansas has a minor league baseball team and Sporting KC. Missouri has many professional teams. But if Kansas is considered by getting the Chiefs or the Royals a major league team, would that bring in more conventions? Would conventions come in? Would people want to come just to come because, oh, this is the place to go now. I do a quick story. A few years ago when the Royals won the World Series, at one of the political conventions that I was watching, everyone from Kansas, they announced who their delegates were for, and they say, and from the home of the Kansas City Royals, and the announcer said, no, they're not in Kansas. What are they doing? What are these Kansans trying to do? And how do you measure the economic impact of being dissed on national television during a convention kind of like that? They're pretenders, is what they're arguing. If Kansas was able to get the Chiefs, the world champion Chiefs, world champion Royals, I think there's a emotional impact that transcends obviously economics, but makes Kansas, probably helps the state out in a way that's difficult to assess.
So the question really is, does that emotional payoff, outweigh the hit to the credit rating?
Yeah, no, exactly. And some states and cities have decided it does not.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, thank you guys so much. Coming up after the break, the future of a state prison tapped by ICE for detention beds is in limbo. Residents pushing back at its reopening. The latest in an ongoing lawsuit.
Plus, an update on the Satanic Grotto, the group now filing a formal hate crime complaint after getting assaulted at a heated black mass at the State House. What's next for the group? That's next. We'll be right back. You're watching Inside Kansas Politics.
Shop local, dine local, and love local at Fairlawn Plaza.
Enhance your natural beauty. Keep your car sparkling, your barbecue sizzling, and your footwear refreshed. Fashion for work and play.
Dive into a new artistic pursuit.
Indoor and outdoor events that support the community.
Explore exciting new spots for meals and snacks. You'll find it all at Fairlawn Plaza.
There's a reason Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. A heartbeat strong, steady, unwavering. Like the people who keep this country moving. For them, only America's most dependable truck will do. In every Chevy truck, like every Chevy driver, dependability comes standard.
And now during the Chevy 4th of July sales event, well-qualified buyers get 0% APR. That's a total value of around $10,000 for current Chevy owners on this Silverado. That's 20% below MSRP. See your Heart of America Chevy dealer today.
For over 75 years, we've been serving loyal customers and have been a trusted name in the automotive industry. Performance Tire and Auto is here for you.
Whether you're looking at high-performance tires for the best ride or budget-friendly all-season tires, we're here for you.
We have 2 convenient locations, well-trained technicians, and service staff that genuinely want to help you take care of your vehicle. Performance Tire and Auto is here for you.
Honesty and transparency is our #1 goal. Trust Performance Tire and Auto and experience the difference. We're here for you.
Car accident? You might think it's best to wait and see before calling a lawyer.
But don't do it. Wait and see can turn into wait and lose.
Once the insurance company thinks you're desperate for money, they may offer you less than you really deserve. A lot less.
At Devon James, we don't believe in wait and see.
We believe in fight and win. Call us now, and we'll fight for every dollar you deserve. Devon James wins. Call 888-8888.
Of all the dread demons of the pit, and in this assembled company, I acknowledge and confess my past.
All right, that's footage from the Black Mass at the Kansas State House a few months back, and it was put on by the Satanic Grotto. Inside, things got even more heated, as you saw, where one man tried to rip a book out of the leader, Michael Stewart's hands. Punches were thrown, leading to 4 arrests that day. But before that, as you're seeing now, there was an alleged attack outside, with Capitol Police having to get involved and separate a counter-protester from the group.
And now the Satanic Grotto filing a formal hate crime complaint against the man they say tried to attack Stewart outside the Capitol. You see the footage there, and they believe that he's a relative of a prominent lawmaker at the State House.
All right, we're back with Bob now. And Bob, while that's going through right now, they're also not able to secure a permit for that witching hour protest they wanted to do in August. Now calling out the state for changing parts of their policy that kind of get in the way of them doing that. So what do you think? Is this targeting minority faiths, as they say?
It's really difficult to evaluate. I do think that this probably, if they have the resources and the time, might have to go through the court system, because what you've asked is one of the sort of the fundamental tensions in America, I should say. It's that church and state separation. It's the right of certain, religious groups to be able to have free expression, but also, when there's violence, and I'm not saying it was their fault, but when there's that possibility of violence, there's also then the consideration of the safety of people involved. And we know from some cases on southern states where they show the Ten Commandments and other things, that often it's the courts that have to decide. So even though there may be, the state may say we're abiding by these certain rules, may have to be the court that figures out if they're going to be allowed to do certain things.
Okay, let's also talk about updates on Core Civic and the prison in Leavenworth that's been getting a lot of heat right now. A judge right now hearing discussions about reopening the facility, but they'd have to get a special use permit. If they reopen, ICE wants to house immigrants facing possible deportation in the old Leavenworth Detention Center. So it would be a 1,033-bed facility and would make the company $4.2 million in revenue each month. It's a lot of money. Here's what some opponents of this are saying.
They don't have to treat them well. They don't have to give them any rights or protections. It's just awful.
Well, according to the AP, Leavenworth is not the first city this has happened. Also in Newark, there's been other controversy surrounding the reopening of a private prison as an ICE detention facility. Now, Bob, all right, let's break down where things stand now. Of course, the fight over the facility, just even getting the permit right now. Leavenworth, of course, a lot of prisons there. They're no stranger to that. But what do you think about this?
Well, it's interesting because a number of years ago, when Barack Obama was president, he wanted to actually bring in to the Leavenworth area, I don't remember the exact prison, but he wanted to bring the Guantanamo prisoners who've been captured in Iraq and Afghanistan back to the United States and imprisoned in Kansas and the Leavenworth area. So my first thought is that Kansas, continues to be one of the prison capitals of the United States. At the end of the day, if the feds, want to, open a prison and they're able to get the permit, it may be, tough to stop them. There's some groups, I don't know who they are. It's called dark money groups. They're getting involved in trying to pressure the citizens of Leavenworth to support this and targeting some of the politicians that are against it.
All right, Bob, thank you so much.
All right, Bob, thanks so much. When we come back, we're going to hear from Marty Tooley, a Democrat running for governor in 2026.
He has no political background, but could he be the underdog? What he has to say about top issues on the campaign trail. We'll be right back. You're watching Inside Kansas Politics.
The ribbon is cut and the doors are open. During the grand opening of the all-new Denver mattress in Topeka. Shop top brands like Purple, Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, and Factory Direct bestsellers from Denver Mattress. Like the queen-size Doctor's Choice Plush, now only $699.99. Or check out the budget-friendly Summit, easy on the wallet for only $299.99. Plus, special no-interest financing. Shop the best quality, the best selection, the best value. All with the best service, only at Denver Mattress.
Hi folks, Rodney Robertson and Eric Robertson, inviting you to step outside and step into comfort. At Window Design and Remodeling, we turn ordinary yards into outdoor escapes.
Unwind, connect, and recharge with a new deck, patio, or screen room. Fire pits, stamped concrete, or any custom project, we can bring your vision to life and help you love where you live even more.
So why wait? Visit our website, stop by our showroom, or call today. Window Design and Remodeling, we are your home remodeling specialist.
We want to send you to Rock the Plains this summer. Register at KSNT.com for your chance to win a pair of VIP tickets. The music festival is August 8th and 9th at Tuttle Creek Park in Manhattan. Sponsored by Carpet One of Manhattan and these fine sponsors.
Banking should be local and easy, just like at K-State Credit Union. Get personalized service, local loan decisions, and great rates. See us in person, call, or visit online, whenever and however you need us. Join K-State Credit Union today. Truly local, truly yours.
We're with Liam after his 4th military move. When being new is starting to get old. We're with Tara during the holidays when she misses home the most. We're with all service members and their families who need connection, comfort, and a home away from home. Are you with them? Learn more at uso.org today.
Returning now to the campaign trail, Marty Tooley, another Democrat entering the race for governor.
Tooley is a small business owner. He's a native Kansan and a KU alum. He spent his career in the fitness industry. And we sat down to talk about his platform, which focuses on education and nutrition. And he explains why he believes that if we improve both, our state's going to be more attractive to move to. All right, Mr. Marty Tooley, gubernatorial candidate for the great state of Kansas. Appreciate you being with us today.
Yeah, Rob, thanks so much.
Absolutely. Well, tell us about yourself for somebody maybe who is not familiar with your campaign. Introduce yourself. Tell us about you.
Well, kind of an unorthodox candidate in a lot of ways. Have no real formal political experience. I'm just a Kansan, true to the bone, born and raised here, fourth generation Kansan. My parents were public school teachers. My grandparents were farmers. Grew up in a small town in north central Kansas, Belleville, Kansas. That's what I call home. 1 year to junior college, flirted with a little bit of college football, then opted not for football, made my way to University of Kansas, where I got my degree at the University of Kansas, and have been in the fitness industry my entire life, literally my entire life. And so the opportunity to get involved in politics is something I've always wanted to do. I've been thinking about it for a very long time. This was not something that came willy-nilly. About 10 years ago, I started thinking about it seriously, met up with somebody that kind of helped me navigate early on the process and developing the platform and the concepts that we wanted to work with. And here I am. So we're going.
Well, welcome, Rock Chalk, and of course Arnold Schwarzenegger, another governor, was a big in fitness too. So yeah, you're a fit guy.
The governor, yes, yeah,
absolutely. Well, tell us about some of the issues and some of the problems you see in Kansas. And as governor, how would you fix them?
Yeah. So for me, the primary issue in our primary platform is public schools. I was born and literally raised in the public school system with parents that were public school teachers, and for me, it's like item number one when it comes to a state and operations and budget. Roughly 65% of the Kansas budget goes towards public schools. I mean, it's like the biggest thing that Kansas does as a government and runs as a government. 30,000 teachers, 500,000 public school students. I mean, it is the thing we do in Kansas, and our product is young people. I mean, if we're going to be named to doing anything as a state, that's what we do. We produce young people, and so for me, I mean, it's like priority one to produce the best young people that we can possibly produce, and then how do we go about doing that? And do you want some details on that now? So for me, there's number one is teacher pay. Kansas is lacking in teacher pay. We are ranked 35th roughly in the nation in teacher pay, depending on what survey you look at, but we're roughly around 35. So that makes us very hard to be competitive in the public school market with teachers because we don't pay our teachers well enough. So we have to address that. That's something that is immediate. We have to address nutrition with kids also for the same reason. Again, if we're going to produce the best kids we can possibly produce, we also need to be giving them the means to be successful both academically and athletic. I like to think of the school lunch program as kind of a training table for athletics and academics for public school kids, because they need the nutrition in order to be successful. So we have to fix that. School nutrition is kind of a dumpster fire. We've got to get that fixed. So teachers, students, that's really my primary initiative on my platform. I just think that until we get that right, we don't really need to spend a lot of time on anything else.
Absolutely. And you talked about your experience in the fitness industry, and we were just mentioning health and nutrition there. Also, that's a big part of your campaign is health and fitness for Kansans. Can you elaborate on that?
Sure. Obesity is an issue all across the country. Kansas is no different. We rank about 36, I think, or even 35th. We're kind of in our obesity percentage is about 36%, which is not good, obviously. 60 to 70% of all health issues relate to obesity. So if our obesity level comes down, we become healthier, more productive citizens, and it's better for the state. So to me, it looks like the best public school system we can possibly do. Why can't it be the best? That's my take. Why can't it be the best public school system in the country? And then number two, we can have a state that shows initiative on making sure that its public and its citizens are healthy and moving towards healthy. And when we look that way, I think we look very attractive to a lot of people to come to.
All right, more from that interview, including where Tooley stands on marijuana.
We're going to be right back. You're watching Inside Kansas Politics.
Since 1992, Prairie Stone has been a landscaping staple in the Manhattan area. Professional, unique designs, attention to detail, and quality customer service are the cornerstones of our company. Give Prairie Stone a call today.
Grace Med Health Clinic is your home for complete, compassionate care. From medical visits to vision screenings, dental care, behavioral health support, and a fully equipped pharmacy, we're here to meet all your health needs. Our dedicated team of providers and staff work together to make every visit welcoming and stress-free, because at Grace Med, you're not just a patient, you're part of our family. Call 785-861-8800 to schedule your appointment. Grace Med Health Clinic, compassionate care for all.
Mom, did you order something online?
No, I don't think so. I don't do that.
Thousands fall victim to Medicare fraud each year. Educate yourself and loved ones on these schemes and keep yourself and your information protected.
I'm sorry, ma'am. Medicare states that you've already reached your claim limit for the year.
Pay attention to your Medicare claims. Senior Medicare Patrol can help you prevent, detect, and report healthcare fraud. Call us today at 1-800-860-5260.
To everyone who finds joy in a great meal, we'd love to see you at Culver's.
What makes us happy is making you happy.
Our menu is handcrafted to have something for everyone.
Everyone.
My favorite? The Butter Burger Deluxe.
Definitely cheese curds.
Chocolate frozen custard.
From the juiciest bites to the sweetest scoops.
We'll make all your favorites fresh.
Fresh.
Fresh, just for you.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Inside Kansas Politics. Continuing our conversation now with Marty Tooley, a Democrat running for governor. We now do a deep dive into his political ideology, including his stance on things like wind and solar, executive orders, and abortion.
We also touch on marijuana and business. Tooley explains why he's a different Democrat and believes he can work with a Republican legislature.
Let's move on to infrastructure and energy. Tell us about that. Why is that important? What do you want people to know about that?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of wind and solar. I think it has a strong position in place in Kansas. If you've been in western Kansas, you know the wind blows in western Kansas all the time. I grew up in north central Kansas and the wind blows there all the time. So I've got several high school buddies that farm back in Republic County that have windmills on their property. It's been very successful and they say nothing but good things about it. Is it the solution? Is it the end all? No, gas and oil aren't going anywhere anytime soon. We'll have a mod of both of those for a while, a long time, as we figure out the kinks with both of them. But wind and solar have to be a part of Kansas' economic plan.
Well said. Also, Mr. Tooley, governance and values you list as your priorities. Tell us about that.
I'm a big non-fan of executive orders. I feel like they just get wielded by governors and presidents like they're writing law. I would much rather take a position that, as a governor, would be my job to convince the legislature to go along with what I want to do versus forcing action on them with executive orders. Now, there are times when executive orders apply. The COVID might be a good example. But as a general rule, I want to work through the legislature to get things done.
Well said. So we're starting to see it might be a crowded gubernatorial field. So tell us about what do you plan to do to separate yourself from the others?
I think in the Democratic Party, I think what will separate me in that run is going to be just my background. I'm from north central Kansas. I'm a farm boy. I grew up in the public school system. I'm a 12-year member of the 4-H. I played football my whole life, all the sports my whole life. So I'm a little different Democrat than what I think most people typically think of as a Democrat in Kansas and where they come from and what their backgrounds are. I'm a gun owner. I'm a hunter. I believe strongly in the Second Amendment and the right to own the gun and hunt. So that makes me a little different kind of a Democrat.
Mr. Tooley, I want to give you the opportunity to talk directly to voters, to Kansans. If they ask you why should they vote for you, I want to give you the opportunity to tell people why they should vote for you, Mr. Tooley.
Right. So I think I think the question is, and what I'm hearing from you is, what are you going to die on? What are your swords? When it comes to the platform, what are you really going to die on? And for me, what I'm going to die on is teacher salary. Absolute no to the voucher system in this state and letting private schools have tax money, and then fixing school meals with kids. If I had to pick three things that I'm like, okay, if I had to jump on the sword, those are my three things I'm jumping on the sword about.
What do you think would be the most difficult part about being the governor of the state of Kansas?
Well, I think the most difficult part is the legislature is Republican and has been Republican for a long time. And so that's a challenge. I don't know if it's difficult, it's a challenge. I feel like I can work with anybody. And I feel like at the end of the day, everybody does kind of want the same thing in Kansas. We want great kids, right? We want well-educated kids. We want healthy kids. We want productive kids. I think we all want that. So I think I can work with the legislature to make that happen.
And what about the best part about serving as a governor? I think it's noble you're stepping up to serve. If elected as governor, of course, that'll be the best part.
I think just the opportunity to serve the state that I love. I'm born and raised here. I love Kansas. I've been all over. I've been the West Coast, East Coast. I've been all over. People are great everywhere, but boy, I love Kansas. So.
And that was your look inside Kansas politics. We'll see you next Sunday, same time, same place.
Yeah, have a wonderful day.